Hello everyone, my name is Lumen and welcome not only to the start of a new year, but to the game They Are Billions, an RTS survival game in the vein of StarCraft, but without Zerg and Marines. Instead you have zombies and steampunk. And I will wholeheartedly admit I'm not exactly one who is always attracted to RTS micromanaging style games, but even I have found this game to be not only incredibly enjoyable, but highly addictive. So, the basic premise of this game is essentially surviving wave after wave of zombie hordes. And there are, let's see if we can get a new game up and running real quick. Let's go with that. There are, as you can see here, 4 different map types. But right now I only have the Dark Moorland unlocked, which is the first map. In order to unlock the next ones, you basically have to beat the previous one on what I just assume as the default settings, because that's what I have. So in order to unlock the Peaceful Lowlands, I need to beat the Dark Moorland at 100% for 100 days with a medium population. And this is the default settings. You are able to change the duration of the days, making it easier or harder, as well as the population of infected, which is this game's term for zombies. So, but yeah, like I said, in order to unlock the next map, you have to beat the current one at, it seems, the very least challenging setting at minimum. Now, I have played this game multiple times through. These are my previous 8 games, and the last, like, run 7 and I think 6 were so far my best ones so far, surviving for just under 60 days before I got swarmed. But because this game is still in early beta access, like this game dropped on the Steam store December 17th of last year, so it's still relatively new, and even before that it was only open to closed beta, so it just recently became an open beta game. But even so, I've only encountered one major bug glitch so far, and I think they just released a patch to fix that. So aside from that, it's like $20 on Steam. I recommend it. I truly do. If you like steampunk, zombies, RTS, or anything in that vein genre, at the very least, give it a look, or go look at some of the other videos that other YouTubers have been doing about this game. But with all that fun games out of the way, let us start up a new map. You can have multiple maps going simultaneously. I have another one going aside from this one you probably saw earlier called Jaeger 9, which is Jaeger 9, or what I call Run 9. So it is possible to have multiple games saved. It's not like you can only have one going at once. So, like I said, Dark Moorland, 100 days, medium population. Let's see what we get. Now, the maps are randomly generated, so some maps are going to be better than others, and I have seen and heard of other YouTubers talking about maps that are basically impossible to win. And I think I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 of those, but I really can't say, just because I've never been able to get wholeheartedly that far, and just a bunch of other factors. Okay, so this is what you start off. This is the basics that you'll see at the beginning of every single map. And what you have here is, this is your command center, it's your town hall, whatever you want to call it. This is the main building. And at the beginning of each round, you are also given 4 archers and a soldier. And this is basically the only troops you have until you build the Soldier Center, which requires 8 workers, 6 energy, 20 wood, 20 stone, and 450 gold. Now, gold is generated, I think it's like every hour, every other hour. You have a little clock and dial indicator down here. Game is pausable, so I have it paused right now. You can either click the button here or push spacebar. I usually do spacebar. No, it's right. It's arrow keys to look around, or I just drag my mouse all around. It's not WASD. WASD does other things. E shows you sort of the where your energy extends to. If you want to extend the energy out, you need to build not pylons, but Tesla towers. And yeah, you also need to build like mills and other energy generating things. All the resources that you have and the quantities that you have them in currently are displayed down here in the bottom right, if the screen will stop moving. So I have no population, I have no additional colonists right now. I have 5 workers, 19 food, and 30 energy, and you're started off with 20 wood and 100 gold. I don't know why it says 193 over there. I'd never really seen that before. So the first thing I always like to do is send my soldier there, and we got a nice little forested area over there. We got some stone there, so we're not completely... It's not what I would like. It's not ideal for me, but I'll accept it. And then I will send my 4 archers to the 4 corners. And then I will also hit enter just to get back to command center. Tents. So I will build 1, 2, 3. Oh no, you don't have enough resources to build 4. I thought you did. Okay, never mind. Wait, you? Oh, I sent him there. Okay. Now then, basics of how each of these troops work. Archers are essentially your scouts. They have compared to soldiers, they have much longer range, faster speed, and their weapons are silent. Soldiers, if they they're slower, they have more defense, they have a higher firepower, but the sounds of their rifles going off can easily kite in a horde of zombies if they're nearby. So that's why I usually like to have him stay behind and just wait. Now we got some more forest over there, that's good. And a basic tip that I recommend is, not necessarily right now at the beginning, but when you have the resources, always like hotkey together groups of either 4 archers or 4 soldiers. 4 archers can one-shot just about any basic zombie, and same for soldiers. So just like, I like to, when I have the opportunity, cluster groups of 4 together and just have them scout out and expand, and that's really good for taking care of most enemies. So let's have, while those are building, let's have you expand that way. Okay, there's some oil. That's like real endgame. Okay, there's some infected up there, and there's some infected down there. Nope, nothing there. So we're gonna have you come back here. Patrol there. Okay. Those are done, so let's get some. We need the gold. Okay. So the next thing I usually like to get is a sawmill, and that's typically the next thing you want to get up and running, because wood is going to be your main building source. Okay, there's a bunch of infected down there. Oh, cripes. Okay. That is basically an infected nest. It's a fallen town in this world. So we will have... Oops, actually, no. Cancel.
Roger that.
That could possibly later game spell bad news for me. So go here, have you patrol here, move you down to there. Actually move you over to here and help her out. She can't take out all those. So we're gonna have to just keep an eye on that. You, this way. Huh? Oh, okay.
Are you sure?
Ooh, resources. Sometimes you'll get random resource drops like that. Okay, running. I'm not going to try and get that. That is just asking for it. Okay, and actually I have enough gold now. Build. Let's see, that's probably like... Okay, that's only a 7, really? Dang, I'm getting gypped on wood this time. Okay, well, let's see how well we do. I usually like to try and get... I could probably get a 12 over there. So far, with most of the forests, I've been able to get at least a 9 or a 10. 7's better than 4, so... Definitely going to want to build Tesla tower there so we can get access to that. And let's build one last colonist there. Alright, so while those are going, let's explore out this way. That is a crap ton of iron. Holy cruds. And it's also a crap ton of infected. So if you patrol that area, doesn't look like I need to worry about... It looks... See, this is where things can get a little deceptive. That's patch right there. It looks like
Any orders?
zombies could get through, but my archer, when I told her to go to here, she looped around. So that to me says, uh-oh.
Attention. Building completed.
Ah, Jiminy Christmas. Am I gonna die before I've even started?
Attention. Building completed.
Okay, well, we're at least keeping them at bay. Alright, let's see. I'm going to need some food. So let's pop... Oh, what? I read that wrong before. Okay, let's see. There's a 12, a 9, 12, 14, 16. Put that one there. 13, 12, 10, 9, 12, 13. No. Yes. There. Okay. I'll bring the food production. Let's just sit back a bit. Now this is a game where you do want to be a little aggressive with your expansion, though with how I've been set up, I may have to turtle a little bit more than I'm used to, but you know what? I can be content with that. Let's build one more sawmill. See what we can get. Okay, there's an 8. That's good. 8, no, 7. Okay, let's go for the 8. Yeah, it looks like they can't come through that way, which is weird, even though it looks like they could. It doesn't seem they can. At least I hope they can't. So you know what? Can I build too close to that? Yep, that's what I thought. Alright, well, let's just keep an eye on that.
Attention. Building completed.
Now then, let's see. For food, 1 energy, 30 gold. Build. Actually, no. What I want is to expand. So we're basically going to have to wall off, like, right around here, it seems. So let's put that there. And I'm lacking in wood. Oops, there we go. And this is why I usually like to try and get 2 sawmills up and running early game, because my game style, like I said, is a little bit more on the aggressive side.
This better be good.
So having a lot of wood is good. And yeah, it doesn't look like they can see that. Otherwise, I think some of these guys would have been going down to this. That's just... The AI for this, in my mind, can sometimes be a little weird. But I am not going to complain. He doesn't seem to be doing anything. Cool. Alright, so let's see. Where's the next wall going to be? Probably somewhere... Do we want to put one down there? Probably put one over here. And pop one. Let's go that way or this way. Let's go there. Because then we can get access to that. And do we have enough? Lacking workers and wood. Oh, jeez. Okay, so let's build a few more. 1, 2, 4. And now, one thing that I recommend doing, whenever you want to build something, pause the game. So what that allows you to do is if, say, I place this tent in the wrong location, I can click it, and I can undo it at no cost to myself. I'll get back 100% of what I put into it. If the game is playing, while you're placing buildings, they'll start being constructed instantly, and if you made a mistake, then you only get half of its value back. So whenever you want to build something, pause the game. I can't stress that enough. Okay, yeah, he cannot see that. If he was able to access that, he would have been making a beeline for that building already. I'm sorry, that's just weird.
Attention.
But I'm not going to
Building
complain.
completed.
Okay, so now we just need the wood.
I present your
Okay.
mayoral candidates.
So we now have, when your population hits certain mile markers, you get access to a mayor, and mayor will give you a sometimes one-time or prolonged buff. Most of the ones I've encountered are one-time buffs, like Laura Pettigrew here is giving us a technology access to the ballista technology, which is typically something we would have to research at a cost of 750 gold once we have the wood research building up and running, which is actually something you can get fairly early game. And then Dominique Mihan over here is giving us command center workers, basically 12 additional workers. So those aren't bad. They're not great, but they're not horrible either. This is kind of typical of what I've seen. Probably the only long-term bonus that I've ever come across was a mayor who gave an additional 20 or 30% health to any of my wood walls, which at the time I selected, and it was okay, it was good. And then you can also get some really crap ones as well, but typically they're either really good or okay like these are. So let's see, honestly, I think I'm going to go for Dominique and get the additional workers, because while the Great Ballista is nice, I think I could use the workers a bit more. Because you need workers not only to run any of the machines, or most of these buildings, but you also need workers if you want troops. So, because how we're going right now, once I get the quarry up and running, once that one pops, okay, there we go. This will, okay, 4 stone, 3 stone, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, let's go, let's go 4 there. That will allow me to get the 20 stone I need for the soldier center, so I can start building up my military force, which is going to be, of course I'm missing the wood, beneficial for us. So it looks like whatever little kiting group was coming over here has ceased. Oh my, that's just so much iron. That's going to be beneficial to us later on, because iron you need for basically all the soldiers except for rangers. Rangers are the only troop that don't require iron. Soldiers require iron, snipers require iron, and then even some of the higher ones that I haven't unlocked in game require iron. So that's going to be, we want to get to that, and we also want to get to this vein down here, because stone is the next building upgrade. So actually, let's take a look. What else? Okay, so some of the other buildings that you have access to at the beginning here, you have a hunter's cottage and a fisherman's cottage, which are resources of food. Fishermen need to be placed next to water, hunters need to be placed next to, or preferably placed next to, forest. You can place them out in the open like this. Oh, actually, that's a decent amount of food. Holy crud. Huh. But I like to save these big open grassy areas for farms, which is something you have to research later on, and that can give you upwards of 64 food per building. And they take up an equal amount of space, so if I just set it right in there, that's going to be like 64 food easy. Sawmills and quarries give you wood and stone respectively. Energy, Tesla towers, they expand as you saw. You've already seen the windmills, which I'm actually going to need to build one here soon. So let's get one of those up and rocking, and let's pop it Right, no, because I can build some tents there. Let's put it there. So that's going to generate some more energy for us. Industry and trade, you have the warehouse, which doubles your store capacities and increases the efficiency of any of these buildings that it hits within its very large radius. So sort of having that centralized around your main resource productions is really good. And then the wood workshop... Oh wow, that's only energy and wood? Wow, dang, I could have that pretty soon then. That's basically the research facility, so you can get upgraded wood tech. Like the wood cottage, which is an upgrade dwelling. You'll have defenses, the great ballista is another thing that you have to research, the farm, the market, that just gives you a whole bunch of other stuff. Military, right now we only have the soldier center, which is what we needed if we want to get more troops. And defense, right now we have the wood wall, wood gate, and wood tower. Wood wall is essentially a wall. Gate is the doorway in the wall that allows your troops to pass in and out. And then a tower is just gives an extra line of sight and additional range to whatever troops are in it. So, with all that said, let's keep going and see how far we can get. So let's see, actually, what do we want to build next? We are pretty far off from the soldier center. Warehouse, that needs even more stone. I'm wondering if maybe we do the wood shop next. Actually, no, what I want to do next is build another Tesla tower. So I can start barricading my city.
Attention. Building completed.
That's nice. Let's pop that there. Now then, right now we're on day 4. Each day is your typical 24 hours, and each in-game hour, I think, is like half a minute to a minute. I don't know. I haven't really paid much attention to that. Now it's probably going to be at least half a minute. I haven't really been paying that much attention to that. But basically, you need to keep an eye on what day you are, because the big waves of zombies will come roughly every 12 days or so, I have found. It's not exactly 12, sometimes it's like 13 or 11, but it's usually averaging around the 12-day mark. So that's usually when you want to make sure all your defenses are good, you have enough troops, and you're ready. Now, the first wave is going to be relatively small. If I can get all my walls up in time, then I shouldn't have too much to worry about. I'm going to get a little greedy over here. And see if we can push forward to this, because that's going to be a really good choke point. This I can be content with, so let's see. And up here, we're going to have to do something like right along here. Guess I don't like to do that. I don't like big open areas like what's up here. I like to wall off at small choke points, which this game usually, the maps usually generate you some nice ones. But let's see, let's go right along there. And yeah, I know I kind of broke my pause the game rule, but I had a clear line of sight, so I wasn't that worried. Alright, and then we build one. Ooh, enemies nearby, so let's move you down just a bit. Move you down a bit more. Uh-oh. Oh. Autosave. Okay, and then let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. This gives us some room to double wall, which is another thing I like to do, and would recommend if you were able to. And 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Oop, out of wood. That's fine. So we'll take advantage of the oil well's location. And yeah, these walls are not necessarily going to be permanent in any way, especially if I want to access that oil well later game. I will be pushing forward and demolishing walls and what have you. But right now, yeah, that's definitely a good move. So let the stone build up and build our walls up while we wait. So there's that one. Okay,
Just tell me what to do.
You to there. Okay, Okay, I don't see a whole lot, but that still worries me. Now, it is possible to destroy these buildings, and if you are able to, you get some really nice, like, some really good item drops. I've gotten, like, 1,000 gold, like, 3 of those little stacks worth 1,000 gold each, ton of wood, ton of stone, and even some oil, before I even had an oil well rigged. So that can be very beneficial, but it can also be very dangerous, because it's basically, it's a hornet's nest. You poke it once, and you get a horde of infected running at you instantly. So, let's see. Back to the walls. Where is our energy? Yeah, let's take advantage of that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll kind of cut back that way. Yeah, let's do that. So pause. So, where was the second? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go 5, and then we will start cutting over. Cancel. Okay, we need another 10 wood, but we'll probably put a gate like right there. Now, zombies are able to cancel your construction of, well, a structure if they hit it with some things once, with more other things a certain number of times before its completion. So you do need to put that into consideration, but as you can kind of see, like, I could build all the way out here if the energy allows me to, but enemies are too close to this location, so I can't. So that's both the game kind of preventing you from, like, building up defense right in front of a zombie horde, and also keeping the zombies from destroying your things, which they will do. But that's actually a pretty good start for the moment. So let's finish off this little gate. Oops. Oh, really?
What?
1 wood away.
Roger that.
Okay, we'll push you back to there. Let's pop in this last gate, this last wall. Come on, someone turn over. Okay, you're gonna turn over. There we go. And boop. And with that, let's actually place down a few more. Oh yeah, can't because it'll cut off access. Yeah, there have to be walkways between a lot of these buildings. So we'll put one there, one there, one there, one there, and oh, jeez, I thought I paused it. Oh well. Think then, let's throw another one there. Alright, so with that in mind, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we are on day 6, so yeah, it is kind of a little, it can be a little slow in the beginning, but once things really get going, this can be a really, really fun and rather stressful game. But I'm actually, I will admit, I didn't get what I would consider ideal conditions, but all in all, actually, I'm not that disappointed. We've got a nice little section walled off. We've got some good natural choke points that we're able to take advantage of. Even this worrisome, foreboding entity is not that too close to our current location. We have some nice areas that we can expand out to once we get the resources. We've got plenty of stone now, so all we're missing is the wood, which means I may actually just get that up and going in between this and the next episode. I'll try not to do too much off camera, just that way I can show all of you the general natural progression of the game, and how I've been playing it isn't necessarily how you have to. It's whatever your sort of style is comfortable with and what the map allows you to do. Like, typically this is actually a bit small for what I've kind of done in terms of first territory the last couple of games I've played, but honestly that may be a bit good because I may have expanded a little too quickly in past games, which is why I died. We'll pop one right there. Alright, so with that, I'm going to say thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope to see you all in the next episode. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you think there's any tricks or strategies that you have that you want me to try, or just any basic questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a like, hit the subscribe and bell button, because, yeah, YouTube's being fun. And I will see all of you in the next episode. Bye-bye. That.